Hey, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. You're catching me on my YouTube channel, True Divine 44. You can also get me on my Facebook page, True Divine 44, and it is the True Divine for both Instagram and Twitter. Any likes, shares, subscribes, comments are greatly appreciated, and much love to everybody who's doing that thus far. I appreciate you all. So this is part of the free content that I put out on a daily basis to help support, guide, and inspire those who want to be supported, guided, and inspired. It is general. Take what resonates and leave what does not. Please leave a comment if you're comfortable to do so. It's great for me to hear and for other people to see and exchange ideas as to how synchronistic the energies are that day, or how you're experiencing the same energies but within a different aspect of your life. It's just an interesting way for people to learn from each other, and it builds up community. So I appreciate all of the comments. So this is for the 28th of October 2020. It's where I combine the energy work that I do and the tarot work that I do to bring a narrative to you to help guide you on your day, to help you make the most of your day, to harness your day to the best and most opportune, the best capacity of your day. So let's get on with it. We've got the Three of Swords on the bottom of the deck. Nasty card. Not a comfortable energy, to say the least. It's you can see here. Am I in focus? I am. You can see that they're on bended knee. You can see that there's a snake here coming up from underneath the shield. I'm trying not to show my hands because they've aged about 10-20 years in the last few days working with wood and whatnot. So you can see there's a snake underneath the shield. These guys are one of them has the shield up on the back. Let's see, what can we see here? There's a snake in the grass. There's an energy that wants to harm, that actually, some of you have been asking the question, but what do they get out of that? Why would they do that? Why would anybody go to that extent to appear one way and be a complete other? Why would somebody go to this extent to meddle and mess with somebody else's mind or life? Or and there are some people that are this, we all come here and we all decide to experience certain things. We all come here and decide to respond to those certain experiences in different ways. And there are people who've come here and who or have decided along the way to get their kicks out of hurting others. Some people are doing it in a more subconscious way, in that they have been hurt themselves, but they're unable to do the inner work on themselves, externalize that onto anyone and anything else outside of themselves, so that they don't have to face what they're avoiding facing. But there are some energies that this is their existence. This is how they get their kicks. This is how they get their excitement. They actually enjoy this. And so it's not a nice energy. Snake in the grass, a stabbing in the back. You can see these guys have all got their backs to the sun, yet none of them are recognizing the snake. None of them are actually looking at the snake and seeing it slither from underneath the shield. So this to me speaks of somebody that's gotten underneath your armor, from a direction that you either haven't guessed from, or would not guess from, or will be so surprised to, or have become so surprised to find out that this is the direction the pain is coming from, the meddling is coming from. That it would be a huge surprise, because it's been allowed into your inner circle one way or another. You may have even done it completely accidentally. The other guys in this card are blinded by the sun. He's holding himself up. They can't even see which direction they're fully going in because they're blinded by the sun. It might be that a lot of you have been experiencing what would come across as a sweetness and light act. Namaste, namaste, love and light and nothing else. When there's no substance under that, that is a guise, an act to get in the inner circle, to infiltrate your trust, so to speak. So look out for that, because it is a nasty energy. I don't like meddling energies like this, especially in other people's lives that I care about. You know, it's unnecessary, but trying to get into the mindset will send you crazy. Because if you're not on this level, energetic level, if you're not in this lower frequency, then it's like trying to get into the mindset of a different species. You know, why does a bear think like this? Why does a wolf think like that? You can't. You can to an extent, but you can't fully understand it, because you don't understand that drive, because you ultimately cannot even manipulate yourself to think that you would have that drive, to think the same way as these characters, as these energy beings. So watch out for that. It might not have come up for you guys yet, with it being an underlying energy on the bottom of the deck. It might be that it's going to come in over throughout the day. You're going to be able to see, maybe from a header of this reading, giving you a heads up, or it might be that it's going to make itself more apparent through the week, but you'll be able to track it back to today. A lot of meddling going on. Now, on the bottom of the other deck, we have the Seven of Swords. So there's theft here. There's this stealing energy still around. Now, even for people who've worked real hard to cleanse their nucleus circle, their inner circle, to cleanse their space of people who did not match in frequency, who did not match in intent, there are still, you know, from the collective stage aspect, there is a lot of this energy around, just other people wanting to externalize their shit onto anything and everyone else because they don't want to deal with it themselves, including those in the powers that be. We see the blame game happening, the gaslighting happening. We see all of those things coming from there because they can't just own up and speak the truth about who they are, what they've done, where they've been. So we have the Seven of Swords. So there's theft going on here, something that has sneaked into your trust, into your inner circle, that is wanting to steal things away from you. And again, the Seven of Swords can often depict somebody stealing things in the bright daylight, in the cold light of day, that right under your nose, and you don't see it happening, and it's not from the direction you think it's coming from. That there's a surprise there, there's a surprise element there. So be very discerning today, very careful. I'm not fear-mongering, I'm just saying that be very careful today. Be very careful again of things that you're signing, words, contracts. Be very careful to have someone else look over them maybe, or not sign them at all. Avoid today's energies for that, of making a commitment that would look like something but be something completely else. You know, the sun is obscuring your view, where sun usually means enlightenment. There's a low sun, isn't there, that when you're driving in, it's lethal. In the early evening, that low sun, where all of a sudden you come around a country corner, it blinds you, you can't see, and then for the rest of the road you've got these dots in your eyes. Your vision, where it should be enlightened, is obscured because of the direction it's coming from. That's something to do with this. I'm going to pull some clarifying cards, I think, on top of this reading, just to see for anybody that might resonate with. We've got the Nine of Wands. Again, very repetitive energies coming up throughout the days, but, you know, giving us different perspectives on the same energies, which is good. It's helping us build a picture. It's helping us have more options, have more of a wider scope of perception to see which directions we need to go in. The Nine of Swords being very busy, taking a pause, a very important pause to see which direction to go in, particularly with these two underlying energies on the bottom of the deck that we've just discussed. It is important that you really do take a wide span of your environment, the people within it, and be very discerning as to what direction you go thereafter, because these energies might try and lead you down the garden path, so to speak, might try and lead you completely in the wrong direction. Why? A lot of it just because that's how they get their kicks. A lot of it is control. And a lot of it is they need you, whether this is from the collective stage or in the masses, or whether this is in your individual life, or both. They need you and your energy or your capacity to facilitate their agenda. So almost using you like a conduit, like a bridge maybe, to get to other people through you. Be careful of people using your name. It might be that a few of you, it comes to your attention that people have been using your name either to get, favors or to get more kudos, when really they have no right to have your name in their mouth. Yeah, be careful of people using your name, because that might come back ironically to stab you when these energies ultimately, go wrong on their path. Might be that yours is a prominent name that they've heard of and that they can get in touch with, for some kind of payback, retribution, monetary value. Yeah, be careful of somebody using your name. Very discerning about the energies around you, and very discerning about taking this pause from being busy. I slipped up on this over the last few days, working too hard to try and get something done. I actually made things harder for myself, ended up getting injured and, very exhausted, tired, ended up just going to sleep where I dropped, didn't go to sleep with intent how I usually do, didn't go to sleep with a clear path in mind as to what I wanted to get done in dream world, or dream realm. And so it was an exhausted sleep. So therefore I ended up having a few nights of sleep, but getting nothing done in that sleep state, and being very troubled, waking up, going to sleep, waking up, going to sleep, being uncomfortable, being very itchy, being all of these different symptoms of exhaustion. And when we're exhausted, we can be swayed by other people, we can make the wrong decisions, go in the wrong directions. So it's important to get that rest. I say that because, to clarify this Nine of Wands, we've got the King of Swords in reverse. Why not? Let's just really lay this on thick, shall we? We're in a narcissistic day. We are. This is all speaking and screaming out narcissism. The King of Swords in reverse, avoid like the plague. Do not sign contracts given from the King of Swords in reverse. Do not be swayed in the direction. Is very intelligent in reverse. Is very still just as intelligent, very conniving, very manipulative, and can sell snow to the Eskimo, in that he can convince you of anything, especially if you are being approached by this energy, male or female, in an exposed, exhausted state with that Nine of Wands. Something about, again, today, something more on the American sphere with Biden, who would encapsulate for me a King of Swords in reverse. Something more about him, but there's some kind of move, some kind of gameplay that is very underhand that will be played today. Now, he is playing to an exhausted mass, that in particular the left have been triggered even more than the right. So they are in a triggered, exhausted state. They're in a Nine of Wands energy in general, because they have been deliberately put there. So there's some kind of gameplay, some kind of wordplay that might be said today, statement made today from him or from his side, that really does trigger a part of the masses that are following him, but they're being triggered into action in the 9 of Wands, but they're not being triggered into action after taking the pause that the 9 of Wands warns everyone to take, because you've been too busy, you've been too exhausted, you've been too triggered over time to make decisions in the right way. So watch out for that, my American brothers and sisters. Leave a comment if you pick up on what I'm seeing, what I'm picking up on. I don't know, something about his wife as well. Don't know which wife. Maybe a statement from that direction, which would be odd, I feel. I don't know really the history of that, of how many statements would come from that direction, and what kind of thing would be said, but that as the collective stage to look out for. Again, the leader in France, again, he is feeling this way to me too. A very King of Swords in reverse. Very, very narcissistic. Playing game moves. Adding chess pieces almost to the board while nobody's looking. Having cards up his sleeve, you know, to drop on the table while no one's looking. Trickster energy, but very clever, very manipulative. But again, getting caught out today for the people who know what they're looking out for. So be discerning regarding that, and don't be swayed into a movement, into a decision, into a protest, whatever it might be in the 9 of Wands, from an exhausted state and not from a discerning place. Again, reflect that in your individual lives. This narcissistic energy is, you think they're gone and then they rise their head again, and you don't know the gameplay, so that you think even just like a phone call, a text is pretty innocent. And if you're honest with yourself, it's sort of a little bit of relief, because you're on the 9 of Wands, you haven't quite let go, you've kept yourself very, very busy, you've kept yourself very distracted, but you're in the 9 of Wands, so you're in that slight pause. Or your body's forcing you to have a pause, and bang, just at the right time, there's this energy from the past returning, with a pleasantry, with a text, with a communication that you can't see through, you can't see the end game, and you don't know what that does to you, to start reeling you back in and channeling you in the direction that they want you to go in, and you think you're making a decisive point when you're not. The importance is here that this narcissist, whether it be from the collective stage or in your individual life, would not have the power if you were doing the work to get to the 10 of Wands, to bring that cycle to a close. They probably wouldn't even bother reaching out, because your energy frequencies just wouldn't match. So even if they did, the message wouldn't be sent accidentally, or they would send it to the wrong person. Something like that would happen. So it didn't even have to reach you for you to deal with it. But if it did, you're at the level of the 10 of Wands and not the 9 of Wands, where it just bounces back to them. So it's no gameplay. Very sneaky, very calculated, and in it for the long game. Now, the next card is the Ace of Pentacles. With that narcissistic energy, there's promises of this new world, this new way of being, this new abundance, this gift that is possible if you go in a certain direction. Promises in individual lives of building abundance, business ideas that will then build a beautiful home with the 4 of Wands, clarifying it. Promises coming in from the past that you always wanted. This isn't for them to give to you, because they are never going to give it to you if this resonates with you. This was never, you know, if they were going to, it would have been done when their time was with you. Yeah, they're gonna, the words like honey drip from their mouth regarding this, because this is something that you were always planning anyway, that you always wanted anyway. So to get that door creaked open again, all of these promises of the very things that you're trying to manifest or wanted to manifest in the past are coming in through these texts, through these gameplays, through these slowly catchy monkey. It's for you to see that if you're making the discerning choice, get in an adequate amount of rest so that you can make a clear decision in the Nine of Wands energy of which way to go forward, and be able to take those rose-colored glasses off to see who the person is that is the snake in the grass here in your life, that is sneaking in under the guise of a shield, under the very guise of what would usually protect you. Isn't that dark? What would usually protect you, and that's where the snake's coming out from, that literally you would put the shield on your arm to protect yourself. Obviously it would be in front of your heart chakra. Boom, that's where it will bite. Dark, 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 tut, tut, tut. So it's to recognize that this is for you to make on your own. When you build this, when you figure out the right direction to go in, when you gameplay for yourself in the King of Swords in the upright, when you strategize and work for yourself and build the home and the energy in that home, your safe space and your abundance, your business idea, the right person then will come. Trying to fall back in line to listen to the empty promises of somebody who's already had their time with you and has been unable to bring this for you, or was totally unwilling to do so, is not going to work. It's you putting off, taking the reins for yourself, doing the work for yourself, building this for yourself, and attracting then a frequency that matches that. Yeah, and that would immediately repel these snakes in the grass to a great deal. Although they are going to be, for a lot of you, persistent for a little while. I'm not going to lie to you. This is a persistent energy. It's all about the gameplay. It's all about what they can get right from under your nose. It's all about what they can achieve to shake up your life. And so this is a persistent energy, and it's prevalent in the masses and from the collective stage anyway. So it's something that the more we deal with in our individual lives, the more we learn how to navigate through it in a skilled manner, like the King of Swords in the upright, the more, one, we feed that into the collective consciousness, but two, actually the better that we are trained to deal with the energies that are coming up, you know, from the collective stage, like the election, like the decisions Boris is making along with others, like the decisions that the French and German chancellors are making. So yeah, it's training ground. You can see it as that, but bringing this in for yourself is so empowering and so important. Now, the next card is the Six of Cups, and so this speaks to looking back to the past with those rose-colored glasses in this reading, not seeing again where the snake was in your life and who the snake was and the full effects of what they were, looking through those rose lenses. Let's see, the Knight of Wands speaks here. And the Knight of Wands looks not to other people for direction, but looks to, you can see, is literally doing shadow work by casting his cane to see which direction he needs to go in, what time of day it is, literally to see where the shadow is cast. He's not asking somebody around him what's the time, you know. He's mutable, he's flowing, he's non-fixed, and he's not afraid of being childlike and honest with himself. And so he's far too distracted in going forward than he is to ever look back and to look towards the past. It's time to do that. It's time to move this forward. Whoever has an uncle, Terry, and remembers the walking stick, that would make a lot of sense to you. Random long walks, never knowing where they were, but adventures, you know, huge adventures. Whoever that is, you know, it's out there. Whoever that resonates with, then you'll know what that means to you, to be more like him, to, you know, take yourself off and out, cane and all, and you know, walk up the rocky path and just see what you see who comes, but not look into your past and not being too fixed to the past, or obsessed with the past that keeps you in this stalemate, that keeps you in this illusion and this 9 of Wands energy, never quite attaining and always having these snakes around you. The moon. So there's a lot of lies and manipulation, particularly be careful who you're around on the 31st, when that's the second full moon of this month, and I'm not saying that for any bad reasons at all. It's more the energy that I'm picking up in this reading. Whoever you're planning to be around on the 31st, think again. You know, even if it means that you have the night to yourself and do some real moon magic and connect with your intuition, you know, the very powerful aspects of the moon that can give us answers and clarity, you know, that's better than actually what you were planning on doing and who you were planning on being around. And that might give you a little bit of a hint as to who could be this snake in the grass amongst you. The Emperor in reverse, along with the moon. This is such dark arts, you know, nasty, controlling, manipulative energy, and so narcissistic. You need to release yourself from this if this resonates with you. And if this doesn't resonate with you, thank goodness. But if it doesn't resonate with you personally, I want you to be aware of this reading from a collective stage point of view, from a point of view of these are the kinds of energies that are being put out there right now. Very dark arts, very controlling, very manipulative. Again, from the collective stage, we might start seeing rollouts of adverts that are very, very retro, 1983-ish type adverts. There's something I need to look up what 1983 would be, what the big things are that happened in 1983, because something about that is to try and connect us to, or make us nostalgic about, with that 6 of Cups. They're going to try and maybe do that. I don't know why that came in there, so I'm going to look at it for you guys real quick. You guys will probably know better than me. Let's put in America first. So it says let's see, sorry, radio silence on that. No, I'm so excited to get my glasses soon. The IBM PC was released. Strategic Defense Initiative proposed. Harrods bombing. Space Shuttle Challenger is launched, maiden flight. Most popular words in word processing is launched through Microsoft Word. Following on from the start of the recession in the US, unemployment rises to 12 million, synchronistic. In Ethiopia, following the worst drought in history, the death toll reaches a staggering 4 million. Wow. I did not know that. And again, synchronistic, hey? If they get what they want or what they're projecting. The US starts deploying cruise missiles and Pershing missiles in Europe at the Greenham Common Air Force Base in England and West Germany amid mass protest. Wow, how synchronistic. So we have the threat of death, if they get what they want, we have death, death, death. We have protest. We have innovations in computers, computing. Wow, yeah. So that look up those, because that would be interesting. It gives you on here all the different things, you know, what NASA was up to, Mario Bros game debuts. It gives you Fraggle Rock. Oh my goodness, I used to watch Fraggle Rock. Down at Fraggle Rock. So have a look at that, and please do leave a comment to see what oh, it was an IRA bombing at Harrods, December 17th, pre-Christmas shopping season. Because it'll be interesting to compile what other people what pops out at you, but definitely look out for those retro adverts that are going to try and cast us back. And it might not be just 1983, but there's something in that for us to find food for thought, to see some of the illusions and lies, that things that happened in 1983 that were prominent, for us to know which direction to look in now, where to put our heat to now. So the Magician comes out. So we have, as the clarifying cards, and then I'll wrap this up, the Moon. Lies, deceit, manipulation. Be careful who you're around, but be careful who you're around, particularly on the 31st of this month. Very dark arts, very low frequency, controlling, manipulative magic. Through this Emperor card, 2 in reverse, very narcissistic, very abusive. It might be that a lot of it takes us seeing the snakes in our own life for us to be able to see and reflect upon the what is going on the from the collective stage, from the powers that be, because our understanding of things can only stretch as far as how open our perception can be, or how mutable, like the Knave of Wands, we can be, and open to suggestion, and not too fixed, that we can be able to see and understand what is being cast down from the powers that be. Otherwise, like I mentioned at the start of this reading, our mind just can't go there. Our mind just can't compute that, because we're not dark like that. We don't have that kind of intent. We don't understand people just hurting for hurting's sake, or people just hurting just to stay in power, whether that's in their individual lives or in huge powerful positions as leaders of the world. We don't understand that, so it's important to be open, like the Knave of Wands, to be able to see and understand. And the next card is, we have the Magician. So all of the stops being pulled out in your individual life by these energies around you that want to steal from you, almost become you, take from you, limit you and control you. And then from the collective stage, wow, you know, dark magic being put out to hook you in, to manipulate you, to put a veil, that as quick as Gaia is unearthing herself and unveiling a real and full beauty, full extent of her beauty. And really, it's actually us unveiling our eyes and seeing the beauty that she's always held and always will hold, and has always been unsure. It's just our perception has closed us off to seeing it in its full capacity. They are very quickly like putting plasters over leaky pipes. They're very quickly trying to dam those leaks of perception in people, you know, to put those veils back on the eyes, please, you know, cover up the eyes, cover up the eyes, cover up the mouth. Don't spread the word. You know, there's the masks again. The symbolism is unreal here. Please look up retro 1983 year adverts. Let me know what you think. Let me know what pops out to you, because there's something very definitely in there that came in intuitively. Be careful of people trying to promise that your dreams will come true, the home, the abundance, the family, by hooking into things that you've shared with them in the past, that they never pulled out the stops for you in the past, they're not going to now. Be careful of the snakes in the grass. And I think that's pretty much a good overview. Got the Five of Swords on the bottom of the deck for a good sprinkling of narcissistic backstabbing energy. Yay! We've got, why not? Why not? But let's have fun with it, Let's be the investigators. Let's be, instead of being emotionally broken, like this Three of Swords energy here and this Seven of Swords energy, let's say, okay, game on. Now we're going to hunt you out, okay? The hunter, the hunted has become the hunter, so to speak, that we're going to hunt you out. We're going to eliminate you from our inner circle, break you out of that trust, the trust circle. What is it of Meet the Fockers? You're in the inner circle or something, or you're not in the inner circle of trust or something like that, as he's holding the pretend titty on his chest. There's some line like that made me laugh. Being a breastfeeder and understanding the struggle, I would have totally filled up my milk in a prosthetic boob for anybody else to take over the reins for 5 minutes. Yeah, that's about it. That's the 28th of October. I don't even know if that was long or short, too long, too short, because the time has just flown and I feel like I've waffled, but I feel like there's a lot in there for those who it resonates with. So let me know. Much love. Stay balanced and stay whole. If you'd like a personal reading with me or any energy work sessions or any spiritual guidance sessions, you can hook up with me at truedivinemedia@gmail.com. You can also reach me at my private business page, not my private, my public business page, True Divine 44, and give me a private message there to let me know what service you want to book in, and we'll get you hooked up. It'll be quicker if you put in whereabouts in the world you are, what time zone you're in, and then I can work out appointments my end too and give you some options, for times. Ironically, I read for less people in the UK now than I do in different parts of the world, which is awesome because things are opening up, but it does mean I'm having to take more note of where people are in the world. And if you've told me your time zone once, twice, thrice before, and we've worked together, you will know that I still ask, where are you again? What time zone are you again? Or what time is it there now? And then I work it out from there because I'm forgetful that way and I won't be remembering. So don't feel silly putting it in again. So much love, stay balanced and stay whole. Mwah.